and we have the people. Now, that is actually pretty close to what I actually had it. So, actually I'm going to move them to... Oh wait, oh. I actually had them a little bit bigger. I had them around that big. There we go. And one thing I kind of wanted to do I have them bigger? No, I have them, well, yeah, I have them bigger. And around there. And that fits perfectly. And now the reason why that was such a big deal is because there is an outline of a rock here that kind of went with the child's shoes, and it made it look a little bit better than just normal. So what I ended up doing was I cut off the shoes like that, and I just added black below them. So this is people. Oh, there we go. Whoops. And then add a new layer down here. Put below it bottom shadow. Bottom shadow. And then make a black brush and make it smaller. Around the same opacity. And then just do this. Whoops. This is actually above it. So it looks like that. Same with here. So now we have the bottom shadow of their feet, and now we want the long shadow, as you can see here, that the sun, wherever it might be, is pushing inward. I mean, the sun doesn't have to be there, it's a cave, so I mean, light naturally comes in, I guess. So to do that, I normally duplicate the people, and then name it shadow. Double click here to change the layer style. And what I normally do is I normally do a color overlay, make it black, and then go to outer glow, and then make it black, and make it normal. And then now you have an outline of the people, and then right click rasterize layer style, Control T, and hold Control and then click and then drag, and then you will get a draggable thing, and you can get something, or you will get something like this. Now, I mean, this does require quite a bit of tweaking because of just because. Oh wait, hold on. First, before I do that, I have to edit this guy, or the normal people. I forgot he had pizza in his hand. Now, I mean, to be stranded in a cave for a while and just walk out with pizza is kind of a dumb idea. So I just cut off his arm, and I cut off part of his arm there. When I was cutting him out, I didn't catch, so I'm just gonna grab this and just clone stamp it there. No one will notice. So what I ended up doing was I added a new layer, grabbed a small brush and made it like a dark red, so you can tell he cut his arm off. Then make it darker here, and there we go. I mean, it's not too great because I didn't do the. And then what I normally do is I just went through this and made it multiply apparently, and then I should be able just to do that, and then blood. And then I added a sharpening filter to make it look a little bit better. Control F, F, F. Whoops, Control. There we go. That looks good from afar. I mean, I'm just gonna add an adjustment and take the vibrance down a teensy bit. Now it's not perfect. I kind of messed with it for like quite a bit to get it looking right, but for tutorial purposes, you get what I'm saying. My throat is like really dry. Soon I'm gonna go get a drink. So, blood. That's what I was doing. Renaming it. And there we go. Now what we want to do is, well, actually, we can just merge these people, or merge this with the people. People. And we can duplicate this layer. Edge. Color overlay, black. Outer glow. Whoops. Normal. Black. There we go. Rasterize there. Control T. Yeah. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna get a drink because my throat is killing me, so I will be back. That's the spot. Nice cold water. So now what we're gonna do is just bring this down here. And that's and that's not how that looked. Let's come in, just pull it out, and there we go. We have a nice shadow. Okay, so rename this shadow, and then bring this below the people. And hold on, because I just brought this to my attention. There we go. And as you can see, the shadow doesn't carry on all the way because shadows normally don't. So what I ended up doing was bringing down the shadow a little, or bringing down the opacity to around 70, and getting a brush with like opacity of like 20 here, an eraser brush, and just doing this. And there you go, you have a nice, cool shadow. So, now what I ended up doing was I ended up making the people look like they went through hell. See, as you, like, hold on, maybe I can show you on here. Their clothes are all dirty and stuff. So, I just did something really quick and simple to make that kind of effect. I mean, I tried to make their hair look greasier, but it just made it look like they had a bunch of dirt in their hair. So, what I ended up doing was I ended up getting a normal brush and then getting a brown-like color. And get like a kind of grudgy brush. I'm pretty sure that there has to be some in the normal Photoshop pack. I'm not sure. And then I made the opacity around 20. I created a new layer above it. I'm gonna bring up the opacity. That's not the effect I was going for. I'm not using the same brush. So that's that, and then I'm just gonna flip through the blending styles, I guess. I mean, that doesn't there we go. Bring it to multiply, and then just kind of do it over his pants and the bottom of his shirt, I guess. I mean, we need the opacity a little bit lower for his shirt because he has a white shirt. So, I mean, his whole dirt would be really dirty, and I just kind of did it everywhere. And I mean, it's a pretty simple effect, but I'm pretty proud of it. I came up with it. So, I didn't have one, but I had 2 layers of this kind of dirt. I had like a normal layer and a multiply layer. So the multiply is just to kind of give it the texture, I guess, and then the other one is just to kind of make it look dirty. Kid is going to be the dirtiest, so I made him dirtier. Like that. And now we have the M dirt layer. And then we add another layer, and then bring down the opacity, and then I think I used the lighter brown for this, but I could be wrong. And what I ended up doing was just kind of dirtying them, making them dirty. So I mean, it might not work for that too well, but I mean, I made it for the bottom of this guy's shoes here, because he would have been doing a lot of walking, hunting and gathering for the children. And then I had some over here because he would be on his knees quite a bit. And let's just put some there because that was uneven. Some on the children. You would have some on his shirt right here. And I mean, I had some dirt on their necks because they're not going to be the cleanest of people. Got that dirty neck. So there we go. We got these 2 or these 3. Wow, I can count. People. Let's see how merging them together works. Merging actually works. So I'm just going to merge them together and go people. Huh. And then I will keep their hairs the same this time because I didn't really get going on it. Now, for the fire and everything, I used fire textures. So I used a burning barrel over here. And then I just cut out a rough area. Whoops. And I just and I'm cutting around the flames because I ended up replacing the flames. And then I just did that and got rid of this. And I scaled this around this size. Sorry for the lack of speech. I am actually really tired. So I put it around there, and then I fire, and then I made a shadow, brush black, normal things, and then normal brush, low opacity, just to give it a nice kind of a look. It would be lighter over on the right and then the left, because I mean the light's coming in from there. And there we go. So now we have the barrel there, and now we need the other fire. Sorry. I'm just gonna use this one because it's nice and simple. A simple kind of fire and normal screen. Now you can find these fire stocks everywhere. I mean, all you have to do is look it up on Google, and you can find it. So pretty much I just replaced the stock, or the fire, because I was lazy. And there we go, there's that, and then just, whoops, duplicate this layer, Control T, make it kind of look different here. There we go, and we have fire. But as you can tell in the back, or is that the fire? On the fire that I just used, there is a kind of outline in the background of like the wood, so just get a small eraser brush and then you can get rid of that. No problemo. And then do the same for this one. So there's the fire. I mean, nothing beautiful, but it got the job done. So I just merged these layers together and then add a adjustment layer and then just a contrast one, and I applied that, or merged it with the fire, and it gave it a nice kind of look. So I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, I was going to rename it fire. And I'm trying my hardest to keep these organized, because I normally don't keep them organized just because. But I mean, you can merge a lot of the layers together and save yourself a lot of hassle, but I am lazy. So this is actually the speed art. I'm just rendering the speed for this photo manipulation, so I'm doing this tutorial right after I actually make it, just so I remember how I made it. So now we add another layer below it, get a brush, and then make a kind of orange, and then make it a nice big brush, low opacity, and just kind of color over here. And that's a bit of an issue. Color. Now you might not see it, but me merging the fire together here kind of messed it up. So I'm just gonna kind of erase kind of an area of the fire. so it doesn't become too much of a problem. There we go. And I'm just going to add another fire layer because it doesn't look too great. And this time I'll use a one from over here. So, sorry, I keep getting distracted. The TV's on in the background and I just keep looking up at it and kind of dozing off. So I hope I wasn't staring too long. I'll look through the tutorial, and if I come up with any problems like that, I'll just cut them out. And then I added a barrel over here and then some stuff just to make it look a little bit better. I just added a texture and found a fabric texture. I used one of these. I'm just going to grab any one of them. I'm not going to choose a special one. And I made it a pretty small one. Don't know why, just and what I ended up doing after this was I grabbed a not a free transform, a puppet transform. I don't really see this used a lot, but it's a cool tool. And what you do is just pin certain areas and you can edit some areas, like instead of it just being like a straight little sheet. And that's how that played out there. So what I ended up doing was just kind of cutting out certain areas of it, which rasterizing layer seems to be, there we go, a big problem. And then I also grabbed a small brush whoops, want an eraser brush. And I just kind of went in a kind of pattern that these things would get ruined in. I'm sorry for the lack of interest, but it is really a long tutorial. This is an hour now. Now I'm definitely going to break it into parts, so I'm probably going to like cut off at one point, at like the 30 mark point, and then I'll just add a like a little slide or something in the video saying that end of part 1 or something. So yeah. So yep, just pretty much make it seem worn out as they went through a lot. I mean, my vision is blurred by a million little diamonds. I don't ever want to close my eyes. Blankets. Oh, I'm just gonna put B because I can't think straight. I believe I spelled it wrong, but who knows. And then I'm just gonna add another shadow layer because that's what I do. Shadows all the time. And then, whoop. Then shadow B. And then I'll just add another layer. Grab a kind of make like a darker red color. I guess the color correction would probably make that look a little bit, make it look a little bit better, but I'm just gonna find a different a different color. My dog was just laid down and like just flopped and pretty much just died. But yeah, just do that. And then just make that passage lower. Yeah, pretty much just tweak it a little bit to see how much you like things. And then I added a barrel and then a color correction, and that's going to be the end of it. So let's see, barrels weren't there, it was an other barrel. I just got it from like a little barrel stock pack thing, and I used the one all the way to the right, and I scaled it down to about there. There we go, and then this. I'm just going to mess around with that a little bit, and then go to another layer, barrel, and then add another layer there, and then outline the barrel, and then color this, layers, color, there we go, color, I cannot think right, whoa, and then add another layer which will be the shadow, and there we go. That's pretty much what it looked like. I mean, this was done a lot faster, so it's nowhere near the actual thing. Now what I'm going to be doing is, well, actually, I mean, it looks pretty similar. And now what we're going to do is we're going to right click, flatten image, and then go to filter, and then I use Tapas Lopez or Tapas Adjust 5, which isn't a free program, but you can pretty much do the same thing with the adjustments here, but this is kind of like Magic Bullet looks if you've ever used After Effects, or it's just easier to use this than to go through that. Now what I ended up using was a Vibrant, once this loads. I ended up using this one, I believe, right here, and it really brings it out. And then yeah, that is the tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed, or at least learned something from this tutorial. It was really quick, so it doesn't look as good, which I apologize for, but it's all about learning how to use the tools, and well, I'm tired. So if you want another tutorial, just leave a like. I'll get the hint soon enough. And yep, peace out.